what's one of your biggest issues with a contractor?
Mm, 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 mm. They don't care as much as I do to get it done super fast. So like with
Mm.
me, so for example, um, okay, so I just signed on a client for 12K, and I'm building out the go high level. I was initially going to outsource it to that specific contractor, but I know that she would take longer than me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this myself and get it done extremely fast, like within a day.
So you
Um,
use this contractor for like outsourcing things like to help you get
yeah,
more done.
yeah,
Now, when you do that, are they paid by the hour? Are they paid by the project?
project.
Okay.
So for new gen, because like so that 20K piff I got, I just paid her 10K. I was like, you handle it all. I don't want to do any of it.
And so when you do that, do you set up expectations and timelines and a project plan?
Somewhat, yeah. So in Asana, we have like a whole
Do you
checklist
have due
thing.
dates?
Yeah,
Okay. What happens if they miss a due date?
I haven't defined that.
You haven't defined that. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I've never defined that. That's good to
So
think
what
about though.
happens
I
is
just
you're
assumed. So with this contract, just to give you context, like she's kind of like a friend, kind of. She's like in the middle. She's not like a full-blown contractor. So
people hire friends all the time. That's irrelevant.
okay,
So what
cool,
you what
good to
you
know.
train them is that when I miss a deadline, there is no repercussion. So the deadlines are soft.
Hmm.
So therefore, why would I continue to try to worry about these deadlines? Because nothing happens. So
What are
therefore,
what repercussions of like?
so first you set up expectations at the beginning. You have an expectation setting conversation, and that is, all right, we're getting started. Here's the project. Here's this. And you have to have a communication plan, which whether it's through Asana or something else, where you say, these are the deadlines. Do you get updates from them? How do you get the updates? You need a system. This is like a people system of like how you get updates, how they tell you when something's going to miss, and when they send an update. And if you're going to miss a deadline, like whether, and you start with like, we'll have to create like a base level and then like a next level and next level. And base level is like how you guys communicate, how you guys send updates, et cetera. The next is then, okay, when a deadline is going to get missed, is it starts with you being like, hey, I see these deadlines coming up. Where are we at on these projects? Get an update. Okay, then it's okay if they're not going to be done. It's like, okay, in the future I expect an update in advance on why we're going to miss the deadline, just explaining what's going on. That's fine, but I expect that update prematurely. Then it's a one-on-one call, and this is where you have conversations where people are afraid to give feedback or hold people accountable, and it's because you don't have a structured cadence of checking in that's it's
Hmm.
built into where you check on. And so these one-on-ones, you really do still have one-on-ones and manage your contractors the same way you would, and you have conversations like, here's what's going well, here's what I need improvement on. And it's not update meetings. The updates should happen in a way that you can read them, because updates, and then you use the call to say like, okay, tell me what happened on this that you weren't able to get it done,
I
and
see.
then they
Okay.
tell you, and then as you ask questions and you understand, is it an error in their thought process, in their time management, in their priorities? You don't know what caused is it they just didn't care? And so that's how you figure out, well, okay, so was it that they have three other contracts they're working on too, and yours dropped priority, and
Hmm.
those other people hold them accountable to deadlines. So of course Harlene's are going to fall off because these people get me in trouble. So those kind of things. Then you figure out, okay, great. So it sounds like you had like a lot going on. So where are we at forward? Now you set expectations moving forward. So over this time, does this seem reasonable to get done by these timelines? Yep. Okay, great. So I'm going to check in with you on this date. I expect these things to be done. Now you've built in that you're checking in on it, so they feel more pressure to do it. It's the same reason why anytime you go to the bathroom in a public place, it says employees must wash hands. The only reason that's there is because the research showed that when it's there, employees wash their hands like 70% more because they know they're being held accountable or there's something reminding them. So you just having that check-in meeting, they know they're going to be done. And if not, that you're going to ask them about it. You're not going to get them in trouble. You're going to ask them about it. So they have to have a good reason. And if the reason
Uh,
is, well, I just didn't care, they're going to feel like shit. So they're not going to do that.
that's so interesting because like with so Katie is her name. With Katie, it's like I think naturally I was doing it, especially during the beginning. Um, and it was interesting, like just observing that when I did ask, sometimes you'd be like, yeah, it's getting done, and like getting a bit flustered. Um, but no, it's interesting you telling me that.
And
So
then
so
you're developing them too, like, which is not necessarily part of your job from like a standpoint of like developing their professionalism because they're a contract. However, as a contractor, you're developing them to work in a way that's better for you. So it does, because they can get more done in the time frame, and if it's hourly or whatever, and you're developing them and they're learning from you and they're learning how. And a lot of people think they're good at time management and they're not, or they just don't. And so then you're figuring out, and this is where I help, is like, at first we don't know, and you come to me, you're like, this is what she said. I figure out, and that's why it's a lot more about coaching, is like, I have to kind of show you and walk you through it and be like, this is what they said, this is what they said, okay, now do this, now do this, now do this, let's set up these systems. And so this is why it's so complicated, and why it's like, it's people management systems, but what it does is now they don't miss deadlines, right? They get these things done for you. They do this, they do it a better way. They're sending you updates so you're aware, so you can communicate to the clients better. So how much more money does this make you in the long run? Well, they get projects done faster. You're better service to your customers. So now, and you can get them projects faster and more, so they can produce more, so you can make more revenue.